Hey everyone, this is the bonus episode of the Master tutorial series. In this video, I will introduce the environment variable setup for our Flask application. So in the last video, we have built the admin dashboard where we have uh, created the admin record while initializing our database, and in that process, I have hard coded these values, the admin username and password. Those must be hidden when we push our code to remote repository or when we deploy our application to production. So ensure always that you don't push any secret data to remote, okay, like the email or the password. And this is really a security breach if we push that this way, right? So we have already given the password here and the email. So if anyone can read the remote report repository, so they can access to your admin email and password and they can hack into your system. So while writing the code, you always need to ensure that you are not writing or you are not hard coding any of the secret data that is vulnerable. Okay, so you always have to fetch these data from our environment, so you can store the environment variables in your OS, and then you can use some library to fetch that data inside your application. Okay, so in Flask we will use one Python library, that is the python-dotenv, to set our variables and to get or fetch the variables. Okay, so let's install this library first. Hit install python-dotenv. Okay, I have already installed. So then you need to create one env file in your directory, the .env file. So create .env file. So here's the .env file where you will set all the variables those are needed. Okay, and this file you don't need to push to our remote repository. Okay, so go to our git ignore file where we can ignore the files and add to ignore the .env file. Okay, so in this way we will not push our environment variables files to remote anywhere. Okay, cool. So now set the variable inside our .env file. So start from the init.py um, where we have hardcoded the secret key, database URI. So start with these first. So secret key, SQL alchemy, database URI, and set the values my secret key and the database. Okay, you can view properly, and then um, use the values from the environment. So for doing that, import the load.env from .env. So from .env, import load.env to load our .env file, and then we can get the environment variables and create a instance of this one here by calling it, and then we can use the os.getenv method os.getEnv method to get these values from .env file directory. So os.getEnv and your environment variable name, the secret key. For the secret key, .getEnv, and the database is SQL Alchemy database URI. Okay, so here we are done for this file. Okay, similarly, go to the root. Okay, go to root and import the same from .env import load .env. Okay, no, you only need to create an instance once in the root file. Okay, you have to import only os to get the variable. Okay, so we have hardcode the admin username and password here in the CLI command db create. Just replace this and remove this one. Use here from. Okay, we need to set these values first. admin@coach.com. So admin username and then user password admin123 admin password. Okay, then replace this value with os.getEnv. So os.getEnv and then fetch it from admin, copy that key, admin username. Okay, similarly for the password, os.getEnv and password key is admin password. Okay, cool. Okay, also replace other places too, like all the admin login page where we have used the value admin email value hard coded. So replace it here and then replace it here and replace it here. All the current user instance. Okay, okay, we have replaced all the instance with our get environment method. Okay, cool. Do we have anywhere else? Do we have any hardcode values? No. Okay. So just test this. Okay, replace this also. Okay, while creating the admin user. So get the username from the environment variable and we are all set. Cool. So we are done with the environment setup functionality and now we will test our application whether it is working or not. So as we have replaced our database URI from environment, so if it will not work, if there is some issue, so we cannot fetch or we cannot run any query on the database coach. It must correct one, okay, or it must fetch the value so we can interact with the database. Okay, so just run the application and start testing. Our application is running. Go to our admin login. Okay. Okay. And try to log in using the uh, admin username and password. So if the database is connected, it must work. Okay, might be I have put wrong password. So the password is admin123. Okay, now it is working. So our database connected and we can fetch the values. So it means uh, using this way, it's working fine. Okay, cool. So what just happened? We have stored all our secret values in .env file, and we have used one library, python-dotenv. With that file, with that library, we load this file in our application instance, and then we can use the method os.getEnv to fetch the values that is needed. Okay, so now we can push our code to remote repository without any security concern. How awesome that is, right? So now let's start pushing this thing. Okay, git add to stage all the changes that we have done so far for the admin dashboard and for setting up this .environment file. So we have modified the git ignore file where we have added the .env to ignore this one to push. Okay, and then we have modified our these files and we have the templates created for the admin dashboard. Okay, so we have staged, just add a commit message, git commit m, and then the message that is admin dashboard and navigations and uh, .env setup. Okay, we have committed our changes. Now we need to push our changes to origin remote into the main branch. So push the changes and we are done. Now we can see our changes. Okay, so we have now 5 commits and the last commit is admin dashboard and navigations. So check the files. We have total 11 files changed with 354 additions and 5 removal, okay, or deletion. So git ignore, you can see .env is added and we have written the .env and all method to fetch our environment variables. Okay, so in this way we haven't pushed the admin username or admin password in the repository. Okay, when we start project or when we start creating our project, this thing must be done first. Okay, as you can see, as it was the development, so we are not concerned about this key, but if we have done it from the start, so so no one can see what was the secret key we have had at first. Okay, cool. So we have done our changes and pushed to GitHub. We are good. In the next video, we will implement the CRUD operations for all these entities. Okay, see you soon.